One person was killed and 7 others were injured in a Russian attack on the Kharkiv region in the early hours of Wednesday. According to the State Emergency Service, a child is among the wounded. Russian troops targeted residential areas as well as a civilian enterprise with over 10 recorded strikes. A Russian UAV hit a 2-story residential building in the village of Eshar, causing a blaze. Overall, 3 fires broke out as a result of the overnight attack, with the largest in the village of Vasishcheve, where a production plant and its warehouse were in flames. US President Trump has condemned Russian leader Putin over continued attacks on Ukraine, warning that the Kremlin leader is playing with fire. Posting on his Truth Social on May 27, Trump stressed that if it were not for his actions during his presidency, a lot of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. This statement comes a few days after he criticized Russia's missile strikes on Ukrainian cities over the weekend. Back then, Trump stressed that he was not happy with Putin's actions, adding that the Russian leader is killing a lot of people. A swarm of strike drones targeted a UAV production plant in Dubna in the Moscow region, according to Astra Telegram channel on May 28. Footage shows explosions hitting Kronstadt, a facility which produces the long-range Orion UAV as well as the S8000 cruise missile. The head of the Ukrainian Center for Countering Disinformation, Andriy Kovalenko, confirmed the strike, stating that the plant is one of the key components of the Russian defense industry. The plant operates in a war economy mode, increasing production even under sanctions pressure, he added. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed. Additionally, according to Kovalenko, unknown drones also attacked the technology park Elma, located in Moscow's suburb Zelenograd. Elma is a high-tech cluster, specializing in the development of microelectronics, IT solutions and robotics, and the production of microchips, elements for guidance systems, and drone control units. Meanwhile, due to the UAV strikes, 62 flights were cancelled and another 52 were delayed in Moscow's airports. The Ukrainian president arrived in Berlin for an official visit on Wednesday, where he's set to meet with the federal chancellor, Friedrich Merz. According to Suspilne Media, they will discuss support for Ukraine and efforts to establish a ceasefire. While in the capital, Zelenskyy will also meet German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and representatives of national businesses. Russia aims to manufacture as many as 500 drones per day, stated President Zelenskyy. He added, however, that he doesn't believe Moscow has reached that level, reported Suspilne Media, citing Zelenskyy during a press briefing on May 27. According to him, Russia is realistically preparing to produce a daily capacity of 300 to 350 drones. At the same time, Zelenskyy warned that on some days, Russian forces could accumulate these drones and launch up to 1,000 in a single attack on Ukraine. Fighters of Ukraine's defense intelligence have conducted a helicopter-borne assault in the Kharkiv region, deploying troops in a bid to thwart Russian attempts to expand across the Oskil River. Exclusive footage of the raid was published on their official Telegram channel. It features combat clips filmed by soldiers from the Timur Special Unit, operating near the Kupiansk front. According to the statement, Ukrainian Special Operations Forces destroyed or damaged approximately 600 Russian underground shelters, as well as 8 field ammunition depots, and disrupted 8 river crossings. Among the destroyed equipment are almost 50 howitzers and artillery pieces, 17 vehicles and motorcycles, 3 boats, 2 artillery systems, and 2 tanks. Additionally, Russia sustained losses in manpower, with 439 of its troops killed or wounded. The United States has received a document from Ukraine detailing the conditions under which Kyiv would agree to a ceasefire. This is according to U.S. Presidential Envoy Keith Kellogg, speaking to Fox News on May 27. Kellogg did not disclose the specific terms listed in Ukraine's proposal. He added that Washington expects to receive a similar proposal from Russia in the near future. The envoy also mentioned that a new round of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine could potentially take place in Geneva, while Russia's foreign minister stated that Moscow would once again consider Turkey as the venue for a second round of negotiations. According to Interfax, he made the remarks during a press conference in Moscow, alongside the Turkish foreign minister. After visiting Moscow, the Turkish foreign minister Hakan Fidan will travel to Kyiv on Thursday. This was reported by Reuters, citing a source in the Turkish foreign ministry. According to journalists, Fidan will meet with the Ukrainian president, prime minister, as well as the foreign and defense ministers over a 2-day visit. Among the expected topics will be a repeated offer from Turkey to host the future peace talks. On Monday, Fidan met with the Russian leader Putin in Moscow. The next day, he held talks with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. During a joint press conference, Lavrov stressed that Moscow preferring Istanbul for direct negotiations with Ukraine is a reflection of the mutual understanding of the two countries regarding the establishment of stability. The Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov contacted Vladimir Medinsky, the lead from the Russian delegation talks in Istanbul, asking when Moscow would present their so-called memorandum, their vision of ending the war. This was mentioned by the Ukrainian president in a joint press conference with the German chancellor in Berlin. According to Zelenskyy, the Russian side promised to release the document immediately following the latest prisoner exchange. However, Kyiv has not received it.
We did not get anything after the exchange either. Our side contacted the Russians. Our defense minister called Russia's Medinsky. They said there will be something, but we did not get anything. No one got anything. We asked the United States, they're waiting too. Everyone is waiting.
Zelenskyy also commented on Russia's statements regarding the venue for hosting talks.
They do not want to hold talks in neutral Geneva, but they want to have them in NATO member state, which is Turkey. You see, it is not about which country will host talks and which alliance it belongs to. It is all about Putin and their desire to postpone.
Meanwhile, the German chancellor underlined Ukraine's readiness to take the next step and hold technical talks with Russia, regardless of the venue.
We Europeans are ready to support these talks, and I know that we are in agreement with our partners in Paris, in London, in Warsaw, in Rome, in Helsinki, in Brussels, and in many other European cities.
Ukraine and Germany will sign a declaration of intent to purchase long-range systems produced in Ukraine. This was stated by the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz during a joint press conference with the Ukrainian president in Berlin.
Today, our defense ministers will sign a declaration of intent on the procurement of long-range weapon systems from Ukrainian production, so-called long-range fires. There will be no range limitation. This will enable Ukraine to defend itself fully, including against military targets outside its own territory.
He also stressed that work on the 18th EU sanctions package against Russia is continuing.
At the same time, work is already underway on an 18th sanctions package. We are holding talks with the United States on this. You know that the US government and the US Congress are in intensive dialogue with each other about further sanctions from the United States. We are accompanying these talks, which are also being conducted intensively with my involvement.
Hundreds of people gathered for the funeral of 3 young siblings who were killed in a Russian attack on May 25th in Korostichev, Zhytomyr region. The oldest, Roman, was 17, Tamara 12, and the youngest, Stanislav, 8 years old. Their relatives, classmates, teachers, as well as the town's residents gathered for a farewell ceremony. Along with flowers, people brought toys to place beside the coffins. The parents were injured in the strike, with the mother still hospitalized.
This is a terrible tragedy. This is an irreparable tragedy. Why is this happening to children? Children shouldn't suffer.